Yes, it was at
So I used to,
Garden
after I left school, I
I
used
do
to
remember it
run
though,
for a couple of
vaguely.
seasons.
Was probably a nasty word, like a swear word.
Was I evacuated? Yes.
Styles wedding.
Hello, Deb. We've got a really lovely.
I would like God to hear. I like to hear God say when I arrive at Thursday.
I met my
Welcome,
girlfriend
Jackie.
at Pimps and Prostitutes party.
I suppose, I suppose my happiest memory is my happiest memory
My favourite
is
word is cricket.
my children being born, but I have to say,
I really like this.
If I could have anything, it would be where I could ensure that in the world was.
A person walks through life having new experiences at every moment. These experiences are what defines us as who we are. Every moment bears significance and gives an insight on why we are who we are. Everyone has a story to tell, and everyone has a story worth listening to.
My favourite word is tremendous.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Caveats.
discombobulate.
Peccadillo.
Skadoosh.
We are Carol and Mark Benson, and we run the old station Alliston, which is a self-catering establishment in North Yorkshire. We've been looking for a property for years, a long time, and we looked at hundreds of clapped out farms, places with no roofs on, places on 45-degree hillsides, all of which were entirely unsuitable to what we wanted to do. And then Carol rang me at work one day and said, I found it, and that was here.
We gave ourselves 6 months when we rented the house that we'd sold off the people that bought it off us, and we commuted from there while we made this house habitable. We moved in after 6 months, and a year after that the first carriage arrived, and it took us a year and a half to get all three up and running.
A bit longer than a year and a half for all three. We knew what we were doing by the time we got to carriage 3.
Happy memories. 2 children growing up with all this land around us to play. Yeah, happy memories.
My happiest memory is when we came home with our eldest son, Freddie, and we took him out in a big pram, and I walked to Battersea Park, and I cried for the first time with happiness.
Oh, it's got to be when my sons were born. I suppose the giving birth bit wasn't so brilliant for either of them, because obviously it involves pain.
My children being born, but I have to say probably my first child being born, Carl, not being a father before, it was just an entirely new experience for me.
I suppose, I suppose my happiest memory was seeing my first child born, and knowing they were all right.
When I had my son, and it just brings you maternal feelings that you sort of couldn't really explain to anybody.
A sound or noise, like the sound of birds in the morning, yeah, more dawn chorus.
I think one of my favourite sounds is a drummer in full action. Drummer from a big band or a jazz band.
I like the sound of cars when they're really decent cars and the engines make that lovely noise.
Probably the sound of running water. At the bottom of our garden in our old house, we used to have a pond and a fountain. I used to kind of switch that on and kind of going and spending time down there and listening to the water.
I like to hear that crackle when you put a needle on a vinyl record at the very start, and you know that there's going to be some decent music coming.
I like the sound of when you open sauce jars, when it pops. I was nearly killed in London by a burglar who tried. I had a knife around my neck and he tried to come and kill me.
Losing my family. simple as that. Them going before me.
There are quite a lot of things that I'm scared of, I suppose, but I'm scared of drowning. I used to have nightmares about that as a child.
I'm absolutely terrified of spiders.
Fear of wasps, and it hurts when they sting you.
I've been going down little places.
Burglar.
I'm scared of drowning.
Wasps.
Spiders.
Little places.
Burglar.
Drowning.
Wasps.
Spiders.
Little places.
A sad memory when my mother died. She was in hospital having an operation, and she came through the operation fine, so they said, and then she died.
One is that my father died when I was 13 years old, and it's one of the biggest regrets. I never really got to know him. I've only got to hear second-hand really about him.
One of my saddest memories is still when my grandfather died, my dad's father, because we were so very, very close.
Well, the saddest thing I can remember was when my granddad died. That was really sad and really unexpected, and I cried my heart out.
My father-in-law dying was a sad memory. If I'm totally honest, more because of what it did to my wife and how sad she was, and the fact that I couldn't do anything for her.
I think Auntie Maisie, when she died, because she was my favourite auntie, and that was quite sad.
My favourite word is river, because I just like rivers.
I suppose family. The love of my family.
Cuddle, because it's warm.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Totty.
Psychedelic.
Happiness.
Cricket.
Because.
Home.
Thank you.
Happy.
Flange.
Food.
I like to be able to fly.
Fly through the sky and just kind of go wherever you want as fast as you wanted to.
Mine would probably be to fly.
Able to fly.
I'd love to fly.
I would like to be able to fly.
If I was to have a superpower, it'd be invisibility, because then I could go into the ladies' shower rooms and they wouldn't notice.
Our Star Wars wedding, which was on May the 4th. We had Darth Vader, who was leading the ceremony. Everybody came dressed in costume.
Do not underestimate the power of marriage. Join forces now, and between you, you can rule your household as husband and wife.
All of our guests were suitably dressed, costumed. My niece was R2-D2, and we had some stormtroopers and Jawas and numerous other characters, Darth Maul.
It was a fun day. We had a lightsaber arch as we left. When I go to toast Sammy, you know, the husband toasting his new wife, and he picks up his glass, which has subsequently been swapped, and I pick up an empty glass because somebody has already drunk hers and taken mine and given me the empty glass.
We had a very special cake made in the shape of the Star Destroyer, which was made by a friend of ours.
Our first dance at the wedding was like a Charleston like 1920s style sort of rehearsed, and we did it to the Cantina Band music from Star Wars. And great fun, really, really good fun day.
I work in the police. Probably the most secretive thing is that when I was younger I used to get into a lot of trouble, certainly with the police. I've been arrested more than once, which caused me to kind of think about what I wanted to do and decide that actually I don't want to do all those kind of nasty things, and probably made a big influence in what I do now.
My wife had a lunchtime birthday drink, so I was invited along, and that's where I first met my wife. I happened to lean against a pillar box just before outside, which happened to be painted red. So the first time my now wife saw me, I had a great big smear of red paint all down my shirt. Very romantic.
Well, I think I'd like to be greeted at the pearly gates by nice to see you, Tal.
My replacement has arrived.
I don't know what we're going to do with you.
Welcome.
What's up?
Hello, welcome. Come and see your friends.
You can have a nice rest now.
He didn't do so bad after all.
I think I'd like him to paraphrase Charles Hawtrey. Oh, hello.
I'd like him to say, well, at least sitting out the blue square bet premier before you left.
I think I'm quite happy to live in this period at the moment. Each period of time on the surface appears attractive, but when you dig any deeper about what life was really like in those times, you certainly wouldn't want to live there. I think we probably live in very exciting times now, very dangerous times, but very exciting times. I'm always amazed that I'm living through a period of fascinating changes that are happening, that at such a rate you can actually almost see it happening, the rate of change. You can stand back and say, wow, whereas before the rate of change was so slow you probably wouldn't have seen it.
Everyone has a story to tell. Think to yourself, what's your favourite word? What's your favourite sound? What's a happy memory? What's a sad memory? What are you afraid of? What makes you, you? These answers all have a story behind them and say more about you than you realise. These people's stories are worth listening to, and so are yours.
you.